My teenage daughter's friend started calling me dad, and now she won't leave. My teenage daughter's friend started calling me dad, and now she won't leave, and I don't know how to handle this without destroying a broken girl. I'm a 45-year-old father of 3 kids. My oldest is my daughter Tina, who is 16, and my twin boys are 12. My wife and I have been married for 20 years, and we've built a good life together. We live in a nice house in the suburbs, and our door has always been open to our kids' friends. I grew up in a home where my parents were cold and distant, so I made a promise to myself that my house would be different. I wanted my kids to feel comfortable bringing their friends over, and I wanted those friends to feel welcome. That's probably why this whole situation got so out of control. About 8 months ago, Tina started bringing home a new friend named Jess. The first time I met her, she barely looked at me and mumbled a hello before following Tina upstairs. I didn't think much of it because a lot of teenagers are awkward around adults. But over the next few weeks, I started noticing things about Jess that concerned me. She was always hungry, like she hadn't eaten in days. Her clothes were old and didn't fit right. She flinched whenever someone raised their voice, even if it was just the boys arguing over a video game. I asked Tina about Jess's home life, and she told me that Jess's dad left when she was little, and her mom had a new boyfriend who was really mean. She said Jess hated being at home, and that's why she always wanted to come over. My wife and I talked about it and decided we would make Jess feel as welcome as possible. We started including her in family dinners and buying extra snacks we knew she liked. On weekends, we would invite her to stay over so she didn't have to go home. Looking back, I can see how we might have overdone it, but at the time, it just felt like the right thing to do. The first sign that something was shifting happened about 4 months ago. We were all eating dinner together and Jess was telling a story about something that happened at school. When she finished, she looked right at me and said, "Thanks for listening, Dad." The whole table went quiet. Tina looked confused, and my wife raised her eyebrows at me. I just laughed nervously and said, "No problem, kiddo." I figured it was just a slip of the tongue and she was embarrassed, so I didn't make a big deal out of it. But then it happened again and again. She started calling me Dad every time she came over. She would hug me when she arrived and when she left. She started asking me for advice about everything from school to friends to what clothes she should buy. She would text me directly instead of texting Tina to make plans. At first, my wife thought it was sweet that Jess had found a father figure since she never had one. But then things started getting more intense. Jess began showing up at our house without Tina. She would say Tina had invited her, but when I checked with Tina, she had no idea Jess was coming over. Jess would just sit in the living room and watch TV or do homework and wait for someone to pay attention to her. One time, I came home from work and found her sitting on the porch because no one was home. She had been there for 2 hours. My wife started to get uncomfortable. She told me we needed to set some boundaries because this wasn't healthy for anyone. I agreed, but I didn't know how to do it without crushing this girl who clearly had nothing. I tried talking to Jess gently about how she needed to make plans with Tina before coming over. She started crying and asked if she had done something wrong. She asked if I didn't want her around anymore. She said I was the only adult who had ever been nice to her, and she didn't know what she would do if she couldn't come over anymore. I felt like the worst person in the world, so I backed off and told her she was always welcome. That was a mistake. 3 weeks ago, Jess told Tina that she wished I was her real dad, and that Tina was lucky she didn't appreciate what she had. Tina got upset and told Jess that was a weird thing to say. They got into a fight, and Jess stormed out of our house crying. I thought maybe that would be the end of it, and Jess would stop coming around. Instead, she started showing up more. She would come over specifically when Tina wasn't home. She would find excuses to be alone with me and ask me questions about my life and my marriage. She told me I was the best dad she had ever seen, and that my wife was so lucky to have me. My wife finally put her foot down and told me this had to stop immediately. She said Jess's behavior was inappropriate and that I was enabling it by being too nice. She said I needed to have a serious conversation with Jess and make it clear that I was not.
Click the link on the homepage to watch the full follow-up for free.